Namaste, sentient beings. It is Thursday, May 14th, 2015. Thanks for stopping by and tuning in. Wow, more stuff about this AMTRAK. So they're pumping out a lot of disinformation and reinforcement, etc., to try to push this hoax, this PSYOP. So therefore, you know it is just like all these police shootings. When police shoot someone and they show it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, it's just a PSYOP. And they're going hard, CNN, with this. So some gematria, CNN. I call it the contrived news network. But anyway, of course, we have our black and white red color, Satanism. CNN means change ahead, or the gematria code. So we got some interesting stuff. This is, unfortunately, again, well, it's not unfortunately, but it's laden again with Obama and his assassination. First of all, we'll get into this woman's name. Where is it? Renee Cardwell Hughes, the CEO. And Anderson Pooper Scooper. I'll do Anderson Pooper Scooper first because he's fast. 558 in Jewish gematria. 55 refers to the God number, which is about creation and destroying, or creating and destroying. Also 162 in simple gematria, which sums to 9, black box, black cube. His name, morpheme-wise, in Jewish gematria means Lucifer rising, serpent rising, serpent rising, and anti-humanism. Sorry, my handwriting is really bad. Sorry. But anyway, also her name, Renee, in Jewish gematria, 135 sums to 9, black box, black cube. 282 in English gematria, which sums to 12, which is a reference again to the month of Osama's assassination. And 47 in simple gematria, which sums to 11, master number, sin, transgression, and peril. Jewish gematria, morpheme-wise, her name means fooled, like they're fooling the public with this malarkey. Also penile or pineal, which refers to the gland, the pineal gland, which is referring to our static third-dimensional state, where we're not manifesting our higher vibrational frequency. It's basically kind of saying we're stuck in the red chakra, which is the lowest vibrational energy field to operate in, which is from our GMOs and indoctrinations and vaccines, etc. Also, it means morpheme-wise disabled, which is referring again to people being fooled, the sheeple, not being able to have discernment and critical thinking, and realizing all of this is bullshit, for lack of a better word. Also, it means Obama, and that means O, like the letter O, which in Japanese means great or big, bomb, B-O-M-B, and then the letter A. In English gematria, it means France, which is referring to a false flag, a nuclear event. Pythagorean gematria, Renee sums to 11. I will get back to that in a second. Her last, excuse me, her middle name, Cardwell, 1033 in Jewish gematria. 33 is the highest Freemasonry number. It means the magic number, the teacher number, the master number, and refers to the 33 vertebrae in one spine. Also equals 78 in simple gematria, which sums to 15. I'll get back to that in a moment. There are some references, to 15. Wow, excuse me. Which also was in the original post that I did yesterday on this hoax. And actually the person, well, I'll get into it in a second. Jewish gematria, it means morpheme-wise, meaning Cardwell. Her name means esoteric masonry. So the Freemasonry, that's about their occult beliefs and the fact that they hide them, which are esoteric to the sheeple, plebeians, or the commoners like us. Also the morpheme-wise, Barack Hussein Obama is the beast, reference to Obama by name, besides the Obama and Renee. And Trinity test, which is referring to false flag, nuclear event, because the Trinity was a nuclear test. It was the name of one of the bombs that they tested, I guess in the 40s or 50s, whatever it was. Also, in Jewish gematria, morpheme-wise, it means Mr. Obama bans monetary. So I think that's referring to the crash of the monetary system, which has been talked about for quite some time now, but it keeps seeming to be looming near that it's going to crash and blah, blah, blah. English gematria means October, which is referring to probably a false flag event, or at least an earthquake. I think it's referring to a false flag event, nuclear strike, which is a provocation of war, false flags. Also in English gematria, morpheme-wise, it means gematria itself. So it's, again, paying homage to the encodement that they do. In English gematria, it means in December 2011 and also in December 2012. Of course, those are 3 to 4 years ago. However, if you sum 2011, you get 4. If you sum 2012, you get 5. If you sum those together, you get 9, which is referring to black box, black cube. Also in simple gematria, Cardwell means red heifer, and I think it's funny because she's wearing a red jacket. Red is the power color, lust color, envy color, sexual desire. So I don't know, maybe they were trying to make a funny with that. Her last name, Hughes. Also, Pythagorean gematria, Cardwell equals 33 when you Add 33 and 11, you get 44. 11's from her first name, Pythagorean Gematria, and Cardwell Pythagorean Gematria 33. 44 is kill in simple Gematria, and they're talking about all these people that died now, supposedly. Last name Hughes, 318 Jewish Gematria, that sums to 12. The assassination month of Obama. 408 in English Gematria sums to 12, assassination Obama. 68 in simple Gematria sums to 14, but anyway. Jewish Gematria morpheme-wise, Obama falsehood, so another reference to him by name, that's the third one. Also means in Jewish Gematria, hell, if you write it 6 times, so it would be hell, 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 hell. Hey, right? Isn't that crazy? And 6 is referring to the male energy hexagram, 6-pointed star, Star of David. It's also a reference to the Church of Satan, which is a reference to Thelema and do what thou wilt or do what thou wiltst. Also English Gematria, simple Gematria. It means also as well Barack Obama. All 3 of them. Also in English Gematria, it also means Barack Obama 440. Or 440, which is referring to 44, which is kill again, and also in simple Gematria, Barack Obama 440, 80, and 480. 440 again refers to kill. 80, if you take the 8 and you split it in half, meaning the 8, you flip the 3, flip the 1/2 of the 8 over, you get 33, because you split them in half, you create 33, masonry number, and paying homage or tipping the hat to Satanism and Freemasonry, or Satanic Freemasonry to be more accurate, and also 480 in 480, if you sum that, that gets 12. So it has his birth month, has his assassination month in his name. Pretty crazy, right? All those references to Obama. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last name Hughes alone. Crazy, right? And Pythagorean Gematria, Hughes sums to 56. You can look at, sums to 56. 32, sorry. 32, which if you add, you get 5, which again is what I just said about the, I said 6, so that refers to the female energy, which is the pentagram, 5-pointed star. That if you invert the 5-pointed star, you get Baphomet's head. And also 6, which as I was just talking about, male energy. Sorry, I looked past the summing of it and looked to that. And if you add those together, you get 11. 11 is the master number of sin, transgression, and peril. Nice, right? Train number 188, which I think they might mention here. When I skipped through it, I thought I saw it pop up. 188 in Jewish Gematria means in Google, which is funny because it's talking about like inside of Google, looking in the search engine that it is. Also in English Gematria means Bavarian Illuminati, which is satanic as well. She's the CEO, as we see right here. Boom, CEO. CEO, 58 in Jewish Gematria sums to 13, which means death and rebirth. 138 in English Gematria, that sums to 12. Osama assassination's month. I keep wanting to say birth month, I don't know why. And 23 in simple Gematria, which sums to 5, as I just said. Or you can get the product of 2 and 3, which is 6, and I just said that. Also in Jewish Gematria, morpheme-wise, it means agenda, and agenda 21, which is about takeovers from the government in all facets of our life, basically, in short. And English Gematria means fake, like this entire thing is a fake. It's a hoax. It's just a ruse. And you have derailment, which says a lot. It's all about Obama and the derailment. Derailment sums to 294 in Jewish Gematria, which sums to 15. I'll get back to 15 at the end when I get through all the Gematria. Also, Pythagorean Gematria, it sums to 47. That's a reflection of 74. 74 is the martyr number, which is referring to Obama being assassinated. And it's reinforced, and this is why I say that. In Jewish Gematria, morpheme-wise, derailment means Obama makes peace. That also sums to 666 in, I think, English Gematria. And Akhenaten Obama, which is referring to Obama being Akhenaten, which is a clone of the Egyptian god, the pharaoh rather, of the 17th dynasty. Also, that sums to 666, mark of the beast, and I think English Gematria. See, the English is simple. I think it's English off the top of my head. I forgot to write it down. I think it's English. Also means satanic magic, satanic magic. Also means Chancellor Obama, 666 again, or the Barack Obama. They put an article in front of his name, the. And Barack, H-O-A, banker. I'm not sure what H-O, I guess that means, Barack Hussein Obama, sorry, a banker. Also, that sums to 666 in English Gematria. Also, Barack Obama, dog, Bo, which is the name of their dog, 666. So you have, in derailment, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, directly saying his name, Obama makes peace, Chancellor Obama, the Barack Obama, Barack, H-O-A, banker, and Barack Obama, dog, Bo, but you also have him referenced in Akhenaten Obama. And 5 of those words with the exception of Barack Obama, all have the gematria in English gematria of 666, unless it's simple gematria. I think I'm pretty sure it's English. Also, English gematria, morpheme-wise, it means the spider web, which is referring to Satanism and how things are all kind of coded as well as connected, which we don't know. Also having to do with the occult. Also, English gematria, it means English gematria, morpheme-wise, it means gematria web, which is a double reinforcement of spider web. Also, it means Philadelphia, which is funny because Philadelphia is where the train crashed, right? It was coming from Washington going to D.C. and it crashed in Philadelphia. So it's funny how in Derailment, Philadelphia, the city that it crashed in, is there. Also, lastly, in English gematria, morpheme-wise, it means Crowley. Crowley is Aleister Crowley, who was a Satanist and was heavily into Thelema, etc., etc. So they also talk about 200 injured, 200 plus injured. 200 in morpheme-wise means bloodline, tragic, and catastrophic. Catastrophic lying. Bloodline, tragic, and catastrophic lying, meaning a hoax, the fact that they're just lying to us about this entire event. Also, AMTRAK, the train that it was on, is 222 in Jewish gematria, sums to 6, which I've gone over about the female energy pentagram. Also, 384 in English gematria, which sums to 5, yet again. And also 64 in simple gematria. 64 represents Thelema and Do What Thou Wilt. They both sum to 64 in simple gematria. Philadelphia, which was just mentioned, 205 in Jewish gematria, that sums to 7, which is a sacred number, perfected man, referring to transhumanism rather. 606 in English gematria, which sums to 12, yet another reference to the Osama assassination month. Jewish gematria, morpheme-wise, demonic fiend, again Obama plan, referring to Obama. Blood link, referring to Freemasonry, satanic Freemasonry. And out in English gematria, morpheme-wise, Crowley again, so that's a second reference to Aleister Crowley. Also, gematria code and archetype, meaning the type of stories they put out. It's an archetypical story or archetypical story, depending on how you want to say it. Also, Pythagorean gematria, Philadelphia equals 65. If you add 65 or if you sum it together, you get 11. And lastly, in English gematria, morpheme-wise, Philadelphia means Obama is a liar. Isn't that funny? Another reference to Obama. And he's a psychopath. Anyway, Pennsylvania. Only 2 more after this. Pennsylvania, 1406 in Jewish gematria, sums to 11. Master number. 912 in English gematria, sums to 12. Yet another reference to Osama's assassination month. 152, which sums to 8, split in half, 33. Morpheme-wise, Jewish gematria, How police officer. How police officer, that's funny. And then in English gematria, 36, which sums to 9, black box, black cube. And in Pythagorean gematria, Philadelphia equals 43. If you sum that, you get 7, which is, again, perfected man, transhumanism. 2 more, southeastern Pennsylvania, 2,175. That's in Jewish gematria. That sums to 15 again, and this is why I'm telling you. In English gematria, 1902, 1,902 sums to 12. Again, the assassination month of Obama. And 317 in simple gematria, which sums to 11, master number. Lastly, southeastern, just the southeastern, because we did the whole thing. Meaning southeastern Pennsylvania, and southeastern now. Sums to 990 in English gematria. That's a 99. That's inverted 66. And it's double sixes, which is, again, male energy. When there's duplicates, triplicates, or quadruplicates of numbers, it reinforces compounds and gives more power to their spiritual goals and endeavors, meaning satanic Freemasons. And also 165 in simple gematria, which sums to 12 again. Osama's assassination month. Morpheme-wise, Jewish gematria, the gray alien race, which is funny. That's referring to the false flag that's supposed to have the gray aliens through a holographic event attack America, where we all come together, etc. And the draconians reveal themselves. There's only one reference of that. There might have been a couple of small ones, but I didn't pay attention to it. I don't think there was any. But anyway, also Jewish gematria, morpheme-wise, means satanic fraternities, which is referring to the satanic Freemasons. Also Jewish gematria, interpretations, which is basically saying people are not interpreting or discerning things, which they've already made 2 references of how dumb we are. Also, left eye of Obama, which is referring to the head wound he will receive. It could be right over his left eye or right under in the cheek or something like that. It's also reinforcing the headshot or the head wound that he's going to receive, but he will not die. I think this clone will be sacrificed and will be dead, but then they'll roll out the other clone and everyone will think he survived, giving him more power and this more immortality kind of persona. Also, it means satanic numbers, which is a lot of these, virtually all these numbers I keep pointing out are, so it's reinforcing that. In Jewish gematria, it also means Israeli Israel, nukes California, which is referring to the false flag event, which was be a provocation of war. There's been a lot of references to Israel and Iran and nuking Colorado or North Dakota or California, something to that effect. Lastly, in English gematria, southeastern morpheme-wise means United Nations, and they're about to pull the plug eventually. Eventually, once TPP is fast-tracked into the United States or into North America, and once Jade Helm takes full effect, and they become martial law, then the United Nations will come in, step in, and completely take over. English gematria also means morpheme-wise 22, which is referring to May earthquake. Economist 2015 January cover is referring to 2 earthquakes, 11.3, 11.5 in May. This is another reference to within a couple days. I've been seeing a lot of references in gematria between the 20th, mostly the 20th, also the 22nd, which is this, 23rd, and also 25th. And lastly, English gematria southeastern means homosexual agenda, which is funny because Obama, and Michelle, the transvestite, and also the heavy homosexual agenda within music, and also pushing this overly sexual hypersexualness in education now as well. And my name is Jag or something, that was written by like a 12-year-old kid who's a boy who dresses as a girl and lives his life as a girl. And lastly, it means nuclear fission in Jewish gematria, which is referring to the nuclear event. All right, let's get into this crazy contrived news network propaganda.
I was thinking tonight about
What's up, Pooper Scooper,
who
piece of
have lost
shit.
loved ones, and the suddenness of this. I mean,
Suddenness.
It's the last thing anybody would expect.
Right.
A loved one is on a train, and now all of a sudden.
So now, by them saying that this is the last thing they would expect, and people just on the trains, is reinforcing and proving, showing that this is all bullshit, because they're trying to tell you that, oh, this is sudden and no one expected this, and oh my God, look at this happen. They clearly tell you a way of thinking, and people should pay attention to that. You got 9, black box, black cube, 3 and 8 is 11, master number. It's amazing how they just blatantly say it to you. I mean, say it to one's face, basically, and people don't pick up on it.
And their lives are forever changed. Part of what the Red Cross does so well is help people in this time of grief. And what do you say to people? How do you help people through?
A lot of times you listen. I mean, that's really a very powerful healing aspect of letting them talk and get their grief out. So our volunteers are very special people.
Anderson.
They're MSWs, psychologists, psychiatrists, people who are trained to deal with grief. And so they know, but a lot of times it really is listening and letting them emote about someone who was so dear to them.
It's not someone who's got a cancer and there's at least some months to prepare for it and say goodbye. It's the randomness of it.
So he's talking about the randomness again. He's reinforcing, oh, it's so arbitrary, and we were just sitting here picking our toes and scratching our asses, and guess what? Something bad happened. Amazing how they're going to push this again. It's just the constant bullshit of fear and that no one knew, and look at what happened. Oh my God, it's crazy.
It's
psychological warfare, psyop.
And the reaction of people can be very different.
Right.
Some people will cry. Some people become very stoic.
So again, now they're telling you how to be. You might cry, you might take a dump, you might laugh, you might go to sleep, you might eat. It's crazy. Telling you exactly how you're supposed to feel.
The reaction runs the whole gamut of human emotions, and so we have to be prepared to help them work through all of that.
No offense, Red Cross doesn't help people with shit. They're not there to help. They're a front. They're full of shit. So she's a lying piece of crap.
And in terms of
yeah, that looks real, right? Of course that looks real. Of course that looks real.
How long you stay dealing with people? How does that work? How do you determine that?
The Red Cross stays as long as it is necessary. This is
She just did a Freemasonry symbol with her hands. See, that's a Freemasonry symbol. It's a inverted triangle. It could also be a diamond. If she was standing facing us, you would be able to see it. Her hands are a little close together, but it's still a Freemasonry symbol she's making. Paying homage to her satanic roots, the reptile that she is.
As long as it is necessary. This is a slow process with no timeline. We will be there as long as the community needs us.
She just said that
it's what
bullshit
we do.
reinforcement
So
twice.
we have volunteers who rotate in and out so that they're always fresh and ready to deal with this kind of grief.
Everyone's walking nice and slow.
And whenever the NTSB is called, you're mandated.
I guess that's supposed to be a dead body.
Correct. We are congressionally
mandated
to care for the families in any kind of mass tragedy.
She's probably telling them, okay, so when they ask you this, you need to say that.
But locally, day in and day out, we do the very same thing. and
I'm sorry, this
communities
all
all
looks like
across the
bullshit.
country.
And you had actually trained for, just recently, last 3 months ago, for a train accident.
Oh my God, isn't that amazing? Just a few months ago, we were training and this happened. Just like 9/11, they actually had war games of the exact event happening about planes attacking the Pentagon and the World Trade Center, which they had done a couple times prior to that. And that day, they just so happened to be doing that. And then they sent the planes the wrong way. It just so happens they sent planes the wrong way. And there's tons of audio about people flying the planes and in the military saying, is this real world or practice? They didn't know, or drill. And they kept saying that. She's still in her Freemasonry her mudra, which is a hand gesture, and she's still standing there. She hasn't even moved.
Correct. One of the things that makes the Red Cross so special.
Okay, so now she's going to promote Red Cross for the 3rd time, which has nothing to do with this event of people dying, supposedly. Why is she promoting how great her entity that she works for is, right? It makes no sense.
Think about these things. As weird as that sounds, we do think about these things. So 3 months ago, here in Philadelphia, we had an exercise to train our volunteers in the event that a derailment occurred because of their infrastructure. So our volunteers knew exactly what to do, which is partially why we were able to get here so quickly.
That didn't even look. What is with that? Like, so of course they have to have a picture of her, blocking part of it out. So you see the train, one derailed. You see that here. I assume the train was going from our right to the left, and somehow it wound up all the way over there. Doesn't really make sense. You don't see tracks or anything. Like if the train went off, you would think if it was going too fast that it would have made tracks and skid marks all over here and crashed over there. Unless I guess it's coming from there, which I don't think so. It should be coming from here, right? Am I stupid? So the train derailed going too fast. You think it would go this way, right? And then the bulge would have been, these two would have been over more to this way, and then there would have been tons of ground and wreckage going this way. Instead, it snaked back, which is strange, and then it came over here. Very strange. That doesn't even look real. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. It just doesn't make sense to me. This way the way the train is lying on the ground.
Which is partially why we were able to get here so quickly. We knew what to do.
So all that happened. Only a couple
leadership
people died. 7 people
have
died.
the presence of mind to think, you know what? Let's train for this, even though it hasn't happened here. Let's train for it. So thank you so much for talking.
Yeah, thank you so much for lying, you piece of shit.
I love the Red Cross.
Pieces of shit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Right. Such great acting. They're so full of shit. Anyway, another disgusting article about them. Thanks for tuning in. Be well, stay balanced. Namaste.